Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Kimberlee Bow, and I am part of the CREST programs team. And I am here with Sarita Sashington, who will now introduce herself.
Good morning. My name is Sarita Sashington. I am the Director of Engagement and Strategic Relationships here at Be Strong Families. Would you
Was there
like me
anything
to
else you'd
tell
like to
more?
say? Anything else
Well,
you'd like to
yeah.
say about your role? I'd
So
love to hear more.
at Be Strong Families, I am responsible for overseeing our anything that has to do with engagement. So I oversee a team of about 30 parent leaders who serve as our National Parent Cafe Leadership Team. These parents serve as advisory, as board members, they serve as cafe consultants, they serve as BSF representatives and other organizations, and they review our curriculum. They create decks. I oversee this team of 30. I also oversee our cafe community of practice, which is about 5,000 people strong on Facebook. And those are people who are trained by us to host cafes. In addition to that, I oversee our conference presence and our keynotes and our speaking engagements. And I also am in charge of our strategic relationships, which is how I got an opportunity to meet with Dr. Cerisi and CREST program. So that's just a tidbit, a tip of the iceberg of the things I do here at Be Strong Families.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to
Thanks
be
for
here
having me.
this morning. Very, very excited. You do so much, and I'm so honored to be the one who gets to interview you today.
Thank you.
So the first question I'll be asking you today is, can you describe your involvement with CREST programs? Can you talk a little bit about the events you've attended or how you are partnering with us? I know you kind of introduced that a little bit in your previous answer, but could you elaborate just a little bit?
Okay. That's fine. So I'll just give a little history. I was actually at a Title I conference a couple of years ago, and Dr. Cerisi was in the same space. We were both exhibitors, and we met and connected, and we just had a really wonderful partnership since then. From that relationship, Dr. Cerisi agreed to come and she did a number of webinars for Be Strong Families. This was right around the time when we were all in COVID, and or
Mm.
we had just come out of COVID or were going into COVID. I don't remember, but it was during that crazy time of uncertainty. And we were providing webinars daily for our audience, our Be Strong Families audience of providers and parents. And we tapped Dr. Cerisi when I saw what she offered and that her curriculum was uh, heavily centered around culture and race culture and race-based trauma and things along that. It was a focus on race that uh, sparked my interest. I reached out to her and she became one of our most sought after presenters. We then decided to collaborate on some institute workshops where she would come and people could purchase to attend her webinars or her workshop. It's a 4-hour workshop, half day. We had about 20 people, I believe, and we did it hybrid. And it was such a great, I mean, her webinars have been the most heavily attended over all of our webinars. And our families love her, as do I. And so we just continue this wonderful partnership. It's been amazing, and I've just been blessed to 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 know her and to be connected to Crest. In addition to her sister, and the whole team is just great. So, yeah, yeah, I enjoy our relationship.
I admit a bias, but both Dr. Cerisi West and Dr. West are amazing. Totally amazing.
Mhm. They are.
So you mentioned this a little bit in your previous answer. Could you
Mhm.
elaborate a little bit more on what your motivation for partnering with the CREST community was?
I had not seen, and I know I'm sort of blending a little bit, but I had not seen any organizations that had the focus um, on race. And I think there was something about um, how race-based trauma and what that looks like, and all of the things that all of the different topics that they cover have this African American spin on it, or a way to address what might be happening in the African American community, like how our hair impacts, you know, how we feel about ourselves and how people see us, and how we parent, as African Americans, and how that plays a role. And so it's just that intrigued me. And I hadn't seen that before. And so that's what made me want to reach out, like, oh my gosh. And I know we're not in the season of DEI, but we're not in the season of DEI, but that is still a very strong thing for Be Strong families. And it's a value of ours. And so we wanted to bring more light to those types of conversations. And we were able to do that through our partnership with CREST.
The work never ends. It's always continuing, no matter what's going on around us.
Always, always.
All right. So next question will be is can you discuss your favorite or most helpful part of the CREST program services?
I think it would be unnecessarily a service. I do remember during the one of the most impactful moments was, I don't remember the name of the workshop, but it's the one where she turns on the water, not turns on the water. It's like the constant dripping.
The slow drip of oppression. Yeah,
Yes, the
slow drip
slow
of
drip
oppression.
of oppression, that one. And I just love that. And I remember sitting with, in this space, and even though it was online, it was just impactful to see how people were just like, what's happening? Just they were quiet as this drip continued. And then she's like, yeah, this is the slow drip of oppression. This is what it feels like every day to have um, to wear the coat that we wear, African Americans, to just have to deal with this every day, and the way that it just keeps weighing on you. And I was like, oh my gosh, that just like floored me. It was so impactful that I got off and I had to go share it with the whole team. Like, okay, this was so good. You guys got to be there. And not only that, I had team members who also jumped on because it was Dr. Cerisi. And we all talked about as an organization, like, what does this look like? What does this feel like? How do we address these things? And how do we not be a constant drip
Mm,
on on us as an organization, on each other? And so it was good. It was a really good conversation. It was an impactful moment.
that's really neat. I get chills when you talk about that. I was like, ooh. All right. So can you share a little bit about the experience of the trainings, which you have, so elaborate just a little bit more, that you did with
Mhm.
CREST programs. What else sticks out to you?
Um, the excitement of the people in the room. Our first webinar that we did, not our first webinar, it's more like a workshop. Um, our first workshop that we did together, I remember that we were trying to do it in person, and then we had to turn it into a hybrid. And and once we turned it into a hybrid, it took off. We got way more people because then all of a sudden we had people online and in person. And and I just remember it being just the excitement. I remember I remember all the questions, and people had some really deep and thought-provoking questions based on the curriculum that was being shared, with the program that was being shared. I remember the energy in the room more than anything, um, and the thoughtfulness in which Dr. Cerisi approaches these different subjects. I also took away from that conversation, it made me think of and I might be mixing them. She's done a number for us, and I hope I'm not mixing them up. But she also did one that made me think of um, my nephew who goes to a predominantly white school, and he was the only young black boy in his grade, or there weren't that many African Americans in the school, and he was one of them, and the only one in his grade. And some of the things that he had been dealing with, possibly, but I heard Dr. Cerisi talking about it, and I said, "Oh my gosh, this is real." Like the trauma, some of the trauma that he's experiencing being in that situation because his parents want better, but the parents want better. Um, but then there's all kinds of other situations or struggles that come up because we want better or want to put our children in different environments, or where they can have more opportunities. And then they get those opportunities, but they come with all of this other ickiness,
Mm,
and how it might impact them, the race stuff. Um, and so I remember leaving there and contacting people and saying, "Oh my gosh, you've got to hear this. You've got to understand. You got to weigh your options. You have to know which one is, you know, um, you have to weigh your options because we want our kids to have the best of both worlds, but there's sometimes some things that come with that, right? Some ickiness that comes with it, the con part of it, right? There's pros, there's cons. The cons part is they get mental trauma from being harassed, or from being teased, or from being talked about, and from not seeing people that look like them in that same space. So that was really, really an impactful one for me as well. I think that's the webinar. I think that's the workshop she did.
well, thank you for sharing that piece. That really
You're
touched
welcome.
that touched my heart. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
So the next question is, can you talk about how CREST programs has helped you address some of these issues that you brought up within your work at Be Strong Families as well?
Um, it's helped us to take a deeper dive into how we address DEI and how we look at DEI
Mhm.
as an organization. It made us we it made us pull on Dr. Cerisi more, and also tap into her wisdom, and it also made us we addressed it with our board, and how to it we ended up doing I can't think of it. It was a type of racial equity professional development that we did. And because our board was an African American woman who specialized in that, so we used her to do that. But the catalyst was from the workshops and the webinars we had done with Dr. Cerisi,
Mm.
which led us to say we need to pay more attention to this. We need to see how we can do this better. We need to have the conversations around this. So that was impactful.
Sounds like that was an overall organization. I'm hearing you talk about different parts, leadership, staff, everybody was getting involved in the work.
Yeah,
Me.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think when you get the whole organization involved, so you're working together towards that common goal.
Yeah, we're big on that, and we're big on equity because of the type of work that we do. We hold transformative conversations. We create transformative conversations for parents and providers and professionals, for people to have that they didn't know they needed. And So we have, this is a big thing for us, DEI, but the way that Dr. Sarisi presented it allowed us to see it from a different angle. And it just deepened the desire to do it better and gave us a lot of stuff to think about. So it made an impact, which is why I continue our partnership. I am grateful to have her as a partner. She's great.
I have no question in my book. She's amazing. So this leads me to the next question, which I think is sits beautifully after what you just said. Compared to similar programs that are either culture-centered or trauma-informed, what's unique about CREST? Or CREST programs, excuse me.
I I think that um I feel like the African American focus is what's unique. Um I don't feel like, I could be wrong because I don't know all the programs, but what I've seen seems to speak directly to my experience as an African American parent or person. And I see trauma informed care all the time, but I don't see it direct. It doesn't connect with me as an African American woman. Um, so that's been the difference for me, I think. Everything that comes across my uh the webinars that I've been to with her, the webinars she's done for Be Strong Families, the Institute workshops, the fact that it's African American focus and not just general um, trauma informed care has been really, uh, it's been good for me. I enjoy learning or seeing some things come to mind that I hadn't thought about as an African American woman, raising African American children. I hadn't thought about some of the things that I've learned through their workshops or her workshops or our time together. So I was like, oh, I think that's what makes a difference for me, and that's what pulled me was that was important. It was important to me. So I think that's a difference because we offer trauma informed care, but it isn't trauma informed care for African Americans. It's, with that focus of a cultural focus. So maybe it's not just all African American, but with the cultural focus.
That cultural focus does make CREST programs unique, right? Bringing in that very specific piece.
Right. I don't want it to sound like they're limited. I don't know if all they do is African American, but that's the ones that I click on to attend. And so I think it's the culture focus. Let me say that. It's not just all African American, but culture focus, definitely.
All right, so next question is, so based on your answer to some of these earlier questions, what would you tell someone who's thinking about engaging in the type of trainings that CREST programs offers?
I would say do it. Do it, do it, do it. No, I would say do it.
I like the
Uh,
dance. That was awesome.
you like to dance too? You like to
I
do
like
it,
the
do
dance, yeah.
it. I think it's one of the best investments you can make is to partner with an organization
Mm.
that sees you. Um, there's nothing better than being seen and to feel valued because you're being seen, to feel valued or to feel appreciated, like, oh my gosh, somebody gets me and they're speaking to something that really resonates with me. Stuff speaking to real life things that I'm going through that I thought maybe somebody else didn't see or had noticed, but here it is. You know, I feel seen. And so I think that who doesn't want to feel seen and who doesn't want to feel valued or appreciated? And that's what working with Crest has made me feel like partnering the webinars, the informative webinars, they're so good. They're all so good. I check them out on YouTube and they're also so good. And the one she's done for us, I've gone back and watched. And so yeah, I think that's the difference. And I would tell people, do it. Invest with Crest. How'd you catch that? Invest with Crest.
I like that. I like that. That's awesome.
Catch that? Invest with Crest. You're welcome, Dr. Cerisi.
I love what you said about being seen. That really touched my heart. So whoever else sees this, it touches their heart too, because that was beautiful. I loved hearing like that really touched.
Thank you. I
Um,
meant it.
so the last question is, can you talk a little about your overall impression of CREST programs?
Overall impression of Crest. My overall impression of Crest is that the people who do the work or provide the services, they care about the people that they're providing services for. And they care deeply for them and they want to inform people and they want to provide tools for people to be their best selves. Um, that's my overall impression. And and it's a trickle down effect. If the head is great, the rest of the body will be great.
Mm.
And what they can give out and what they can do in the world will be great. And so shouts out to Dr. Cerisi and the entire team for making a difference in the lives of so many people. So that would be my final answer. No. I'm teasing. Ask away.
Well, I like that was my last question for you. I want to say thank you so much for this conversation. I really enjoyed it. I meant it. It was an honor to interview you. I had so much fun too. I got to laugh along the way as well. Um, any final thoughts that you'd like to share before we end?
Just thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak on a partnership um, that I value greatly. So whatever way I can help with Crest, I'm good. I'm there. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share today.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm so grateful on behalf of the entire CREST team. We are so grateful to you and the work that you do, and all that you do in the community. So thank you so, 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 so much.